I am. Good morning.
Caroline, we have you there?
I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Caroline. And I think we Rob. Bill Boyd.
She'll be coming in first.
We'll give it a few minutes here. Yeah.
Now.
Hey, Sandra. Make sure you're.
That's the flip side.
I know.
No.
Thank God there was no permit, or else you wouldn't have that.
Yeah. Oh, I have it. I got a panda one at home. Well, then before I get started here, we have definitely have a report. And no motion will be here in a few minutes. So I'd like to go ahead and
Let's start with the show.
Hey, Jenna.
We're,
Just use your fist this time. We'll find it.
the Iron Fist.
Call to order. I'm so pissed. First item today is our action item is the approved meeting minutes that were in the packet.
So moved.
No, second.
Second.
Any additions, changes, or anything for this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Great, thank you. Chair report, I like the new dinner here. There's a lot of room, it's hard to find. But, it's worked well. Oh, yeah, I Bob Sue was, closure will be fine. But yeah, this is a very functional space. It's going to work out great. So appreciate the city of Denver, letting one on this, and love the rent. So thank you very much. I guess just the end of the year, a lot going on. 2025 was really exciting. I just, one thing I'd like to do is thank our partners for sticking with us throughout this whole project. CSU's been great. Tony, Jocelyn, super, just always there. Never need you. WSSA, obviously you guys are all in on this project. This is really the future of WSSA. And make sure this really, so appreciate you guys stepping up. And obviously our senior partner, the Denver City of Denver, and Nicole, I don't know if Nicole's here yet. Oh, okay. I want to thank our senior partner. I'll say support, the new administration has been there, really guiding the whole process. Couldn't have a better partner than these three groups. Really appreciate it. And also want to thank the community. The community really stepped up. Sandra, you and Caroline have just been really critical there. That ladies along with Anthony. So we're starting to see the fruits of everybody's labor. So we appreciate everybody sticking with us through some lean times, some of the uncertain times. But I think the clouds are starting to pass a little bit. And 2025 should be really exciting. So thank you. The CEO report. Correct.
Please. So facilities update, probably one of the highlights is that yesterday afternoon, Mr. Steve Nally got a unanimous vote of support for the district sign plan. No small feat. And this has been, Steve's side hustle now for like a year and a half. It's a big process and a really important next step for Livestock Center, for the entire campus. So congrats, Steve. Most of the other stuff there you are up to speed on, we'll be talking about later. Next. Every year we do a video, and Paul and Stock Show are very gracious to us and allow us to do a video piece that is shown before each and every rodeo, and we really appreciate that very much. And this is this year's version, and I will apologize in advance. The budget reflects the quality of the narrator in the video.
Welcome to the best 16 days in January, and welcome to the new National Western Center. The new National Western Center merges agriculture, entertainment, and education all in one place, unlike anywhere else on the planet. The National Western Center is about legacy and promise. A 119-year-old tradition of the National Western Stock Show, and our commitment to the future generations of how we're going to produce food sustainably and how we're going to do that in a way that helps our planet and our communities thrive. CSU Spur is tackling the most challenging issues of our time, from animal and human health to the future of how we produce food sustainably to how we handle the most precious resource in Colorado, our water. The National Western Center is about people's lives. Whether you're a city dweller or whether you're a rancher or a farmer, you are valued here. You are important here. We invite you to come across the tracks, walk towards the river, and see all the new exciting work that's underway or already done. And we invite you to come back the rest of the year to experience all of the events and opportunities and innovations here at the National Western Center.
All for doing that. And partners for helping us with content. Really appreciate that.
Where will this be shown?
Before all the rodeo and horse shows that we have at Stock Show.
Jenna, you want to give everybody an update on our?
Absolutely. Just within the last 24 hours, we have made some significant updates to our website. Historically, our website has served us very well in that it's been very future facing, very vision and mission oriented. But now we're at a very exciting juncture where we're kind of transforming it to reality. So we put our best foot forward as a new event venue and optimized all of our SEO so that we are staying super relevant as it relates to event venues, festival grounds, and all these different keywords that will populate, within search. When you go into Google and search these keywords, we will be popping up more and be more relevant on those pages. So you'll see we've taken an approach that is much more event focused and sales based. So it's really focused on a lot of the fun and interactive things that we have going on here at campus, rather than renderings and things that make it look like we are yet to come. So we're capitalizing on a lot of the neat events that we've hosted historically. You'll see, the large concert that we held back in 23, as well as a bunch of other festivals and things that we've done. So if you get a second, I would encourage you all to check that out. It's very exciting. And more edits to come next year, so.
When was the last time you actually changed our website and updated it?
To be honest, I think probably 2018 when the authority was first stood up, so it's been a very long time. And then, we originally created it, I think in 2011 or 2012. But yeah, we kind of transformed it from more city management to authority as we are, starting to manage the brand and the messaging, and that all occurred in 2018. So it's been a minute since we made some changes. Exciting.
And Charles, does Spur have their own website?
Yeah.
It is.
That's fantastic.
One neat thing with the Spur website, sorry to interrupt, and Stock Show as well, is that we have areas within our website that hyperlink directly to CSU Spur and vice versa. We've been very good about sharing venue space, and if it doesn't fit within our parameters or the necessities of the client, we're very quick to refer them to CSU Spur and vice versa. So our websites really collaborate nicely. It's very great.
And the legacy building, also, Mr. Chairman, will have its own website. We just, selected a firm about a week and a half ago to build that, so hopefully that'll be ready by stock show maybe, and the stock show site will link to the legacy site. We're happy to link to CSU and NWC as well, so,
You know, the more links, the better,
yeah,
because we do need to create sort of
right.
Jenna, do your social pages also have connectability now, or are they used as commerce instead of marketing now?
Yeah, so you'll see at the top right corner, we hyperlink to all of our social channels. We have done some significant improvements to our social channels this year too, and we've grown, well, Brad will talk a little bit about this a little later in the agenda, but we've grown each of our platforms by about 30% this year. So it's just been an incredible year of growth for us, I think, all around, and all of this is in preparation, of course, for next year and then 26 when livestock will open. So we're just really trying to build that momentum to 26 when livestock center opens and we are, you know, fully open and ready for business. So yeah, it's very exciting.
Okay. Events. Get ready for stock show. That's the event. Yes, been a pretty good September, October, and November, and I'm sure right now we are solely focused on that. Next slide, please. We are on the community front. We're having our regular meetings. We had a CAC meeting right here last night, and it was a combined meeting of CAC and the Equestrian Center Hotel Task Force. Really successful conversation, engaging community around the actual design of the community building and community space, and we're getting into furniture and AV and what kinds of events are gonna happen there for community, and starting to talk about how we book that space and how we will work with community on that space. So it's been an exciting process. And we're focused on stock show with community as well. Again, Paul was very generous, gave us some reduced cost tickets. Thank you to folks in this room and others who sponsored the purchase of those tickets. 250 tickets are being distributed. I don't know where we're at on folks being, I'll bet that yesterday morning it was after 48 hours, half of them were already, people had already reached out to us from community about that. So I think that's pretty successful. They get a food voucher as well. We're doing the stock show parade again this year. Paul and Stock Show donate a stock show parade float spot, so thank you for that. And we provide the wagon, and we got a bigger wagon this year, so we can put 24 folks or 22 folks on it instead of a dozen this year, so we're happy with that. We'll do a community reception again this year. There'll be a dinner at Stock Show. SSA is donating the food, we just found out, so thank you to them. And then we have about 50 folks, 50 community members who will come to that dinner, and then we all go to the rodeo afterwards, and that's all free to the community. Boots and Business coming up, our table is full. Citizen of the West dinner, we're still 2 seats there if anybody is still interested in that. But pretty much speak now or forever hold your peace here this week, because we'll find somebody to fill those seats if board doesn't want to take them. Next slide, please.
Quick question, will there be any thought given to moving booths indoors? Now that we have facilities, maybe in the next year or two, or is that part of its charm that it's out there in the dirt?
Where Boots and Business is indoors today.
Ish.
It's always going to be in a dirt arena, always. I won't ever not do it, and my predecessor won't ever do it on concrete either.
Oh, really?
So
So that's part of the charm.
But maybe the predecessor after the predecessor. So there's a chance.
Yeah, there's always a chance, isn't there?
That's right. 22-11, we'll have a chance.
But yes, we're not holding it out in the elements, we'll move it inside.
Yeah.
So, and it will move into one of the new buildings for sure.
Yeah, good question for Sandra and Caroline. Do most of your friends and neighbors go to the stock show? Like the rodeo? What percentage of your friends actually get involved Tell us about the community attendance at our event, for this WSSA event.
Well, at first, I didn't hear much about, community participating, except for the schools when they take the kids. But since, 3 years ago, I've been getting also community, tickets that I've been giving away, so now more communities going also to the staff show, so they're always asking, when do we get more tickets? So I know now that they're getting, to go to the staff show more than before.
Caroline, any input?
Kind of similar to Sandra. I don't have a lot of friends personally who go, but I know that some of my neighbors would probably be more interested knowing about some of these new opportunities that we have for community members to better be able to attend.
Any other questions on that? All right, on the staffing and ops side, we are heavy right now in the ticketing procurement. We are in negotiation with the 3 selected ticketing platforms. Each of them has their own contract, because we don't do anything simple. So we are making good progress there, trying to figure out how to create platform regimes that are kind of similar across those platforms and but still manage to get the campus the best deal it can and the best service it can. There's good progress there. The pouring rights process is underway as well. That's a big deal, you guys. And Paul has been incredibly valuable in advising both on the ticketing and the pouring rights, and Paul's team, Rob Winston and others. And so we're working through that and all the sponsorship pieces that go with that. Since our last board meeting, we have had 3 new staff members start. Corey Jones is our sustainability and safety manager, and he hit the ground running. He is working on safety systems across the campus, both, oh, is he here? Oh, he's here. There's Corey. Corey,
I just like one table.
Corey, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and where you came from?
Hi, my name is Corey Jones. For the last 13 years, I have been working in the events industry. For the last 6, I have been working in the events industry focused on safety, and the last 4 years focused on sustainability, operations, and safety. So I worked at one of the 10 largest convention centers here, Colorado Convention Center, was there for 13 years, and look forward to nurturing the programs, working with the community, and engaging all of our family and partners.
Welcome, Corey.
Thank you.
And one of the great things about Corey was that we need both safety and sustainability, and those will morph into 2 separate positions. But it doesn't make sense. We don't need both in those FTEs at this time. And so to find somebody who is this unicorn that has both was really a successful outcome for the organization. So we're excited to have him here. Mackenzie Huber is a campus event manager. She started a week or so ago. She is traveling. She's out of the country right now, so she isn't able to be here to say hello. Lori Larita is here. Lori is our new community events and outreach manager. This is the position that is replacing Anthony's position. And before she says a few words about herself, I want to talk about how we morphed kind of what this position does. Anthony's title was community engagement and government affairs. We really don't do a ton of government affairs. And as working with Anthony, we really learned about what do we need, what is most effective. So we were able to be more clear about what this job is and what it isn't. We had, I don't know how many, Stephen, do you remember how many applications we had on this position?
211.
Yeah, good. solid response, lots of solid candidates, and Lori rose to the top on that, and we're excited to have her here. Anthony's been very generous too. He is with us through January 10th, so there's nice overlap for some onboarding for Lori. Everyone should introduce yourself.
Hi there, so I recently came from Denver Housing Authority. I worked with them for 21 years. I really did focus on community initiatives in the La Alma neighborhood during the redevelopment. The last 10 years, I really did focus on the social enterprise with our internal nonprofit and really focusing on getting grocery stores and cafes, wholesale, and providing jobs and training for youth and adults.
You beat out 210 other applicants for it. You're a winner. Where did you go to school?
So I went to IU. Indiana University, so the big rival Notre Dame and IU is happening this Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Good show. That's just right.
So just an update on our board meeting format. We went to a sort of changing topics every month. What was happening when we were one, producing a huge lift for our team, and it was too much information for you. And so we are going to go to you don't have to ever remember this. We're gonna go to an every other month where we'll do facilities 1 month, and 2 months later we'll do events, and 2 months later we will do community. We will still keep every month cadence with the partner reports. I think it'll help with our meeting length and not providing too much information for you guys. Next slide, please. Okay.
That is Brett. Any questions for Brett? Great, thank you, Brett. Our partner reports. The first one is City and County of Denver. They will do the construction update during this meeting. Do we have Michael here, or who's gonna be doing it?
It's in the board.
I'm sorry, excuse me, I got it backwards, I apologize. Any questions for the representative of the City of Denver here?
I thought Nicole was gonna be on, because I was just on the phone with her at Porterville, but
Oh, it's fine. Okay, call it CSU, the Spur reported update during the board meeting. Awesome. I almost gave your time away to the City of Denver.
All right, I'll be brief, but I'm happy to share some recent information and activity at Spur. This is our snapshot of numbers through about November, so over 220,000 visitors. You can see how that breaks down. Obviously, meetings and events have been really important for us in drawing folks to Spur. And we're excited that we'll be measuring a little bit around how many of those folks come back for other things with families, have their kids coming on field trips, that sort of thing. While obviously we are focused on that visitor experience and K-12 experience, we also do a lot of other things at Spur that maybe are a little bit more behind the scenes. One of those things is that we launched a new master's program with the launch of the Spur campus, the Ag and Food Innovation Master's program, and they actually just graduated their first cohort of master's students, and they gave their final pitch presentations and graduated last week. So that's really exciting to see some of the more formal educational programming that happens at Spur coming to fruition. And I'll talk a little bit more about the what's next further on, so you can go on to the next slide. So as I mentioned, events have been a really big part of our activity over the course of the last year. October was our busiest month so far. We had over 84, a little higher than that, meetings and events, with 15,000 folks coming through Spur during that month. So really exciting to see all of these different events happening. Particularly excited to note that we had over 40 community events. So these are things that were 826 focused, whether it was a meeting or a cooking class or something else. So I'd love to see increased engagement from 826 at Spur as well. There's a smattering of recent events there that you can read through, but I'll move on to the next slide. Speaking of community engagement, a few highlights. I think many of you have had the opportunity to meet Eduardo Gonzalez, who is our new community outreach coordinator. He's been getting up to speed and understanding how folks are thinking about and what they know about Spur. So he's been out in the first 3 months or so of his time with us, has been out at about 40 community events, from everything from tabling to hosting our own meetings to really dive deeper into how people are feeling about Spur and what they want from us. So he's been really busy, and if you haven't had a chance to meet him, I know we'll there'll be opportunities during the stock show, and excited to introduce the two of you. We opened also the Richardson Design Center makerspace in our artist studio spaces. So this is a smaller version of something that we have up on campus, where you can come in and get trained on how to use a laser cutter or a 3D printer or a bunch of things that I don't understand how they work, that are really good for sort of prototyping things or building a variety of different new products. So you get trained here at the Spur campus and come in and use that. That's open to the community, that's open to the public. You just have to come in and learn a little bit from our friend Carson, who's here in that lower image. We have a community movie night that happened. We're gonna be making those quarterly, so really excited to be bringing folks in to make these Spur theater space. So coming and that the what's next included basically that community movie night and other community events that Eduardo, now that he sort of has the lay of the land, is going to be starting up. We also have an innovation program at Spur that again happens a little bit more behind the scenes, but is engaging more and more with the innovation and entrepreneurial community here in Denver. Our Ag Innovation Center is really rocking and rolling. They just got a grant to support with other partners to support minority ag tech founders. And they will be also hosting a second awful party. If any of you went to the awful party last year, you'll remember that that's about how to use organ meat and other meats that are not typically sold in the grocery store for a variety of different things. So they're doing a fashion show also. It's a lot of fun. They have a good time. Are you an awful person, et cetera, et cetera. So, they're making use of their brand. Pretty well.
When is that event?
I'll have to look it up
Okay.
Real quick to tell you what date it is, but I'll make sure that you get an invitation.
Thank you.
Lots of other things happening with our water folks as well, but I'll move on to the next slide for the sake of time. On the comm side, we are really excited to have launched a series of videos called First Degree, which is a series of videos that highlight first generation college students. The very first one of these videos featured Rebecca Boyna, who went to Bruce Randolph and interned with us, and then got inspired to pursue a degree in horticulture at CSU. Got a full ride scholarship from the Garden Club of the US, and so she is really rocking and rolling, and is exactly what we hoped for when we put all of these things together, that a student who might not have otherwise heard or learned anything about something like controlled environment ag or green roofs would be inspired by an experience they had at Spur. She also was part of the horticulture program that we helped to launch at Bruce Randolph. So all of the pieces really fit together in her story. I highly recommend you go and watch that video. I definitely didn't cry. Nope. WizKid has also really been driving additional viewers to our YouTube channel. We're really excited for season 2 of WizKid. If you haven't watched those episodes, they're a ton of fun and are all over our social as well. Okay, next. On the research side, really excited about the partnership with the National Western Center to plant our research grove. This is actually on NWC property, but just over the edge of ours, in between the retention pond in our backyard. This is an opportunity for us to look and see what kinds of trees do well in the changing climate. So there is a whole research grove out there. We're really excited about it, and there's 2 locations, both in partnership with the National Western Center, so that's really exciting. Thank you so much. Our Food Innovation Center and Sensory Lab is really rocking and rolling. Lots of folks are coming to do taste testing of new food products. So if you haven't signed up to become one of our taste buds, recommend it. And it was just an article in the Sun about our Food Innovation Center. Happy to send that around. We are expanding some of the Food Innovation Center work, so you'll be seeing things like Spur ice cream and, a chocolate lab, not the dog kind, the actual laboratory kind, in Spur, coming soon. Next. Just a few more things to note here. As I mentioned, we had that master's program graduate its first cohort. We have another master's program in biomanufacturing that's launching. We're doing some green workforce development workshops with City of Denver and Groundwork Denver. So there's a whole, sort of lifelong learning pathway that is happening at Spur. Those are our FFA officers that joined us in July, and they're just wonderful to continue to work with. So we are really educating people of all ages.
Is your green workforce stuff on your website?
I'll double check that, teacher, I'm not sure.
If not, we just send me an email and tell me what it is.
You got
At your leisure.
Can do. Next slide. And speaking of lifelong education, we're really excited to be launching Spur Start. There'll be a handful of students joining us in the summer, but it will really get going in the fall. And this is an opportunity for students to do their first year courses at Spur. It might be for students who would prefer to live at home for their first year here in Denver. Then they can transfer up to Fort Collins and to complete the remainder of their degree program. So it's general classes for freshmen. It's nice, there'll be a smaller cohort size. It allows folks to save some money. And then when they transfer up to Fort Collins, there'll be a number of wraparound services that will ensure that they're successful. So we're really excited to have undergrads about to join us at Spur in the fall. Next. A few more slides and then I'm done, I promise. So our education team continues to be really busy with field trips. What I am really most excited to share with you is the expansion of what we're doing at Spur into the virtual space. So we are launching a number of virtual programs. If you go to the next slide. That include Spur chats, where we are talking with classrooms around the state. So folks can sign up to have a conversation with the Spur team and their classroom around the state. And so we have 70+ schools that are interested in doing that as we continue to roll those out. They're brand new, we're prototyping them, we're debugging the systems, but really excited to have those virtual programs. We're also turning one of our exhibits into a giant iPhone on the wall. So basically, a field trip of kids can come up and stand in front of that phone, and that phone will call someone off-site. So essentially what you're doing is hitting a button to talk to someone at our Western campus, where they're out in the field and they're talking about what they're growing, what their research is. Or potentially it's a person in, I don't know, a food product factory. Let's say we can convince someone at Leprino or Ardent Mills or Celestial Seasonings, I don't know, to show us a little bit of what it's like to be part of the food system. So we'll be able to connect kids to careers that they can't see at Spur. We try to showcase as many as we can, but obviously there are a lot we can't. So this is a way to really expand our reach and our career exploration opportunities. Really excited to be launching that in the spring. So, sorry, that was kind of a lengthy update, but that's what's happening at Spur.
That's awesome. Any questions for Jonathan? Good.
I think I know the answer, and it's for both of you. How does everything that you report, continue to report, how does it meet with expectations for the original idea, original concept, and where it's come? I think I know the answer, but I'd like to hear from you how you feel about where it started and where it is today.
Well, there were, of course, some ideas that have not come to fruition for one reason or another. That sensibly we're sort of, either we're gonna get to them eventually, or they weren't the right focus to start with. That said, generally speaking, I am blown away. We have hired an absolutely amazing team. Our education team know what they're doing, and they have really been so creative and have leveraged their previous expertise at various other educational institutions to build something at Spur that is a really unique experience. Our researchers have really hit the ground running. They see the fact that we have this novel space and novel partnerships as an opportunity, and they are really knocking it out of the park. I mean, I am biased.
Right.
I expect it's okay.
So, I'm not gonna, I mean, obviously, there are things that we would do differently if we could go back in time, but generally speaking, I would say I'm incredibly grateful and proud of what we've been able to do.
Chancellor Frank.
Yeah, it was, because there was nothing like this, it was pretty difficult before it opened to sit down and say, what are our milestones? What are our benchmarks gonna be? So instead, we sort of did well, if we had these sorts of things going on at this point in time, we'd feel pretty good about that. We've exceeded every one of those in terms of visitors, events, connection to programming, adoption, by the campus. It was tie-in with other organizations, from Together We Grow to North American Agricultural Advisory Network, Salazar Center for North American Conservation, a lot of sort of third-party entities that we happen to host at CSU are housed out of Spur, and it makes a great platform for them as well. And I think Jocelyn and her team have done a fantastic job. As most of you who know me know, if what was in my head when we were planning this was what's usually in my head, which is not a lot. And so it's pretty cool to watch this happen. And yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sure it was.
So any other land grant schools looking at this and saying, wow, this is something new?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You want to talk about it a little? Or?
I think we have people who are interested in hopefully, if they're smart, taking what we did and making it specific to where they are, but, I think that this is a response to the evolving ask of higher ed institutions, in general, and land grant institutions in particular, to approach being a land grant in a different way, and I think others are certainly.
University of Minnesota has been interested. University of Illinois has reached out a couple of times. Tennessee's governor was going to be, I don't know if he ever actually came, along with the University of Tennessee chancellor, to see the facility. They were thinking about putting theirs in Nashville, not surprisingly.
right.
John, Doug makes a good comment. Every time I see your updates, you guys are a mile wide and a mile deep. I'm not sure what else you didn't do. You took off, because it seems like you're doing everything. And you're doing everything really well.
Kelly Brook's goal for virtual bull riding never made it.
That's true, but, virtual space is evolving all the time, so.
Well, Kelly got a new gig, so maybe she can help you with that, but. Any other questions for Jocelyn?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
There's different residents that have asked me if you're still doing the scholarship.
Yes.
School, and how do they apply for that?
Yeah, so we do still do the scholarship. This year we have 10 students, everyone from 80216 who chose to go to CSU is receiving this first scholarship if they need it. It is actually automatically, they don't have to apply for it, at least not as of now. We may change that in the future, but right now, if you have an 80216 zip code or are a Bruce Randolph graduate, you are automatically eligible for this first scholarship if you qualify.
What age do they have to be?
What age do they have to be? They just have to be, going to CSU. One of the CSU schools, so it's Fort Collins or Pueblo. We have 8 students at Fort Collins right now, 2 in Pueblo.
So I think like
First
8,
scholars.
we're taking on 8 now.
Cutting edge.
Yeah.
And there are some requirements around, maintaining a certain GPA and that sort of thing, in order to keep it, but, those are sort of the standard scholarship requirements that we have for everything.
Other questions for Jocelyn? Great, thanks, Jocelyn. WSSA, the update is in the board packet. All any high level things you want to hit. Looks like you guys are knocking out the ballpark in terms of sponsorships and.
Yeah, it's all good. It's talk show time, so that's my report.
Gotta get back to work.
The only thing to,
All focused.
yeah, right, the only thing to probably add is to make sure that Caroline and Sandra know that besides the community tickets, free day is January 14th, so if you can spread that word, anyone showing up on site January 14th from any part of Colorado is gonna be let in free. So just get that word out as best you can. We'll be promoting it, but we, not everybody signed up to our emails and
That's general admission. not
right, that's
rodeo.
general admission, right? But they can come see all the animals. We have about 50 things a day going on, that they can take in for free that day, so. But that's about it. It's all about stock show right now. So,
That'd really be a big day.
that is a big day, yeah. It depends a little bit on the weather, John, but, you know, assuming it's the weather we've got right now. Come on, come on, Mother Nature. So, you know, if you get a string of days like this, we're gonna have one heck of a year. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, that usually is a pretty big day. John, probably 40,000-ish people. So
What's the record, 750 for
actually, CSU Day still holds the all-time record. It's a little more than 68,000 on site during CSU Day, which was a couple of years ago, was that record.
And we did not have to give credit to get.
Yeah, exactly right. So, yeah.
the? Thanks, Jocelyn. Thanks, Paul. Committee update. The update will be actually provided during the board meeting. Sandra and Carolyn, I don't know who wants to take it first.
Do I take it first?
Wait, go ahead, Sandra. We'll start with you, and then we'll go to Carolyn.
So tomorrow, there's gonna be a toy drive at Stella Apartments, that's from Global First. So Global First is an organization that existed for I think 2 years, and now they're back with different members. And now they're doing a lot events and meetings and classes. So tomorrow they're gonna do their first toy drive at the Stella Apartments from noon to 3 p.m. And on Sunday, there's gonna be another toy drive at 45th and Sherman, and that's organized by Blood Brothers. So they're a group, I don't say organization because they don't like me saying that they're an organization, but they're a group of men, they're bikers, and they're been doing a lot in the community. A lot of people don't know about the Blood Brothers, but they've been working in the community for many years, doing a lot of work. They don't like to be on media, they don't like to be famous, so that's why they're very quiet, but they do a lot in the community, and that's gonna be on Sunday.
What's your name, Sandra?
Blood Brothers. And it's gonna be from noon to 3 p.m. also. And that's gonna be on 45th and Sherman. Also, our participants from Sabor Comunitario are done with the first program. This was a pilot program, so they learn a lot, and how to change things that work better for our students. So next year, we're gonna have 2 different programs of 12 weeks. This year was 32 weeks, and it was a lot for everyone, so we decided to do short programs and focusing more on cooking, because that's something that they wanted more, the cooking part. And also, I was invited to participate at the Opal Business Plan Competition, which is will take place on the 25th, which is the Opal Party. Whoever wins is gonna do the presentation there. So I'm very nervous because I'm competing. But yeah, when I'm competing about with the programs Sabor Comunitario and how we also using Opal on those classes, and how to use those parts that they don't need here, but we do it in our countries. It's like very common for us to have those recipes and just to bring them here. And we had a catering, I think, last month, on November 6th, exactly. It was 250 people that came to a conference, I think, from different states, and they loved the food. So that's where we got invited also to participate. So who knows if I'm gonna win or not, but we're gonna be there on the 25th. Is Saturday, the 25th of January at 5:30 p.m. There's a registration form, and you have to buy your tickets if you want to go to that one. And that's everything at the CSU website. But yeah, that's Oh, and also, we're gonna do El Día de los Reyes again, for Africa. We're still looking for a place to do it. It's gonna be January sixth, 2 p.m. And we're asking for donations. It can be toys, it can be funding. So if you guys wanna also donate toys or funding, you can just send me an email. We already got some toys from Facebook friends. Like I always promote everything on Facebook, so I just promoted yesterday, and there's already a lot of people that are gonna be donating toys. And what else? We're gonna have our graduation for Sabor Comunitario on February the 3rd, which is a Monday. We're gonna send out some invitations. We're very excited to be the first group that are gonna graduate. We started with 27 participants, then we ended with 19 participants, and only 12 are gonna graduate. But I think that's also good, and they're very excited. And that's gonna be also CSU. So again, I wanna thank CSU for everything that you guys been doing for this program. It's the first program that we have done. And it's bringing the community to those, facilities that's something that I keep saying, that if we need that connection with the community, that's something that we need more. We need more educational programs for the community, because we don't have that much opportunities in these communities. And you guys being open, National Western Structural, CSU, to have those programs, educational programs for our community. That's something great, because then we can see a future for these communities, and that's something that we have to talk about, how if we want these communities to get better, the educational part is very important for this community. So I'm very thankful for this program that has been very successful. So again, I've learned a lot about it, and I'm trying to change everything for next year to have it better and to give the opportunity for more participants, because there was a lot of participants that wanted to go into the program, but it was full, and it was just mostly like a pilot program, learning from everywhere. So but now that we have learned, we want to do it better, and we have this opportunity again to do it next year. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Caroline? Any updates?
Hi, everyone. Sorry, my laptop camera is not working lately, so I cannot unfortunately share my video with you guys. Bummer. So I don't really have a huge update right now. Just a couple things as we draw to the end of the year. So on Tepeac's behalf, I just want to share that this year we saw over 7,500 individual unique patients. So that's not, visits, that's that many people came as a patient to Tepeac this year, which is an amazing number. Some of you might remember Tepeac started in a much smaller facility and moved to a facility 5 times the size a couple years ago. So seeing this many patients is kind of a new record. We're hoping to break this record with every subsequent year, because we just want to get more and more and more people in there. So just a reminder, of course, tell all your friends and family members if they don't have a primary care provider, if they don't have health insurance, if they don't have great health insurance, Tepeac is here to meet those needs. And I also want to remind everyone of the importance of your annual physicals, your annual well-being visits. It's probably a bit late in the year to get one done for this year. If you did not, that is totally fine though. We are about to start a brand new year, brand new annual well visit opportunity. And this year, Tepeac is also going to be focusing a little bit more on pediatric visits. Obviously, that's been a big part of the focus this whole time, but we are dialing it in just a bit more this upcoming year. So if any of you have kids, if you have family members with kids, if you know some kids, anybody who needs that care, please send them over to Tepeac. We are here to serve them. We also have our dental program, our behavioral health program. We have some imaging programs that'll be coming up in this new year. So really just looking to solidify and expand all of the services we currently offer and look for where we might take a path to the future with, new opportunities for healthcare. So that's really most of my update. Thank you guys so much for all of the partnership opportunities that you have partnered with Tepeyac on. I know that there's been a recent CSU Spur partnership that went really great. I think that was a vaccine clinic. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because I got a lot of information in my Tepeyac board meeting last night. So it might have been something else, but I know that it was successful. It was great. So really, really glad to have these partnerships and looking forward to another great year with more great partnerships. Thanks, guys.
Caroline, any questions for Caroline or Plumber?
I have a question for Caroline. So Caroline, I took my kids to Tepeyac because I did an appointment and everything, but when I got there, they told me that their Medicaid, that you guys didn't accept their Medicaid, so I asked if I can pay. And they told me that they needed an insurance, but they have Medicaid, but they don't accept the Medicaid that they have. So I asked this because I keep taking my kids to the Eastside Clinic, which is close, but not that close, as the Tepeyac is very close from my house. So are you guys still not taking brand Medicaid or insurance?
I don't know what's up with that, because Medicaid is a huge part of our service lines. We accept Medicaid. We have a huge portion of Medicaid patients. So let's link up together, because I know that there was recently, were you speaking to someone at the front desk in Spanish or in English?
Well, they all speak Spanish and English.
Yeah, there was a translation error, I believe, into how we were conveying some of the information. So if you spoke to someone in English, you might have gotten a different translation of the concept than if you spoke to them in Spanish. And that has been corrected recently, but let's link up and let's get this untangled, because I don't want anybody to have this kind of problem. So we will get this all figured out for you, because there's really no reason that that should have happened other than someone at the front desk potentially misunderstanding some internal memo that had gone out with a translation error. So that has been fixed on Tepeyac's end. I would like to personally fix that on your end, Sandra. So let's link up together and get this all untangled, okay?
Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
I'm sorry, can I just
Yes,
mention one thing? I'm sorry, I meant to mention this, that January 11th is our Spur anniversary party. So it's either our second or our third birthday, depending on how you count. But it's really focused on community. So we will be putting flyers out throughout 80216, but I would encourage, if you're connecting with anyone within GES and I want to mention it to them, January 11th is the big party at Spur that's very community focused, and we're really hoping to have a lot of folks there.
And we're gonna be cooking that
And
day
they're gonna be cooking.
too.
Thanks.
Time is that gonna be, Justin?
I'll let you know in 1 second.
Or is it all day celebration?
It's mostly all day, but let me give you a real starting time.
I think it's gonna be from 10 AM to 5 PM.
That sounds right, but I'll just double check real quick with the invite. I'll send the invite around to
Well,
the.
Sandra's cooking, that might really.
I know, you should definitely come.
Great. Thanks, Sandra and Caroline. Committee reports, finance, we had a meeting this week. Nicole, Stephen, any high level updates?
We're on track. Finance committee met on Monday and reviewed financials through November. There were no issues. We're forecasting that we're gonna be about $500,000 short on event revenue, about 74% of budget, which will result in a net deficit of between $150,000 and $200,000 for the operating budget.
Nicole, any comments?
No, nothing from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Stephen or Nicole?
Is there one of the, and this is maybe a hard question at the end of the year to pinpoint one thing, but is there a theme around the why the event revenues were low, fewer events, tremendous progress year over year, 47 paid events this year, 1.3 million, just over 1.3 million in gross revenue versus 26 paid events last year and 494,000. So incredible progress. Thanks to Bill and Brad's leadership. I think it's just more, incredible progress and more of what's working. So if we had 3 or 4 large events this summer, it would have changed the entire year.
Right.
So adding a couple more large events, concerts, where, you know, you're 6 figures in gross revenue per event would have changed it dramatically. I think there's 2 factors that really are the biggest contributing factors falling short, and that's ticketing and concessions. Those are largely driven by attendance. So number of people coming to events, it's not just number of events, but higher attendance events like concerts would have changed the entire year.
Right. And how have you forecast for next year relative to what you're learning this year?
Our budget is slightly higher, about 10% higher. It's $1,974,000 in gross revenue. They already have a tremendous pipeline built for 25. So we're confident the momentum that we created this year will continue into 25.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
I think Jonah's team have us on the right track.
I'm curious, is there
That's exciting.
anything in the framework agreement that speaks to, being in the red at all? Is there a deadline? Is there, you can only do this 1 year or anything like that? No?
Not very specific.
I mean, the
Talks about the revenue.
much bigger conversation, but, I mean, there was a pro forma built years ago that didn't show this campus being in the black until the triangle was constructed. So we're trying to do better than that. Really
There's no
excited.
pressure on this while we try to figure
Yeah,
out.
I mean, so
what
we are exceeding the revenue that was projected.
Let's put it this way too, I mean, Paul, you can, I mean, for this campus to ultimately be sustainable, right? The new arena's gotta get built, all the facilities.
Right, yeah.
And that was in all the reports that we wrote, that for this campus to meet its targets, all those assets had to be on.
Yes, about time.
That's true.
There's no pressure.
Great, thank you, Kelly. Thanks, Stephen and Nicole. Campus services and partnerships, the update is in the board packet. Any comments or questions there? Thank you. Community benefits, the update is also provided in the board packet. Any comments or questions concerning the community benefits? Okay, thank you. Brad, do you want to do the National Western Center year review?
So we're coming to the close of 2024 and it's been a big year and even bigger next year and an even bigger year after that. So early in the year, I just kind of talked with you about all the things we were focused on. 24 and 25 in anticipation of 26. This is not going to be long, but next slide, please. So I wanted to put up these guiding principles. These are the guiding principles from the National Western Center Master Plan. And I think we are hitting on most of these in some pretty significant ways. And I'm gonna go through some of the things we're working on. But read those words: integrate community and neighborhood, engage the river and nature, celebrate Western heritage. Think about what the Stop Show does. Inspire health and wellness, about all the amazing work that CSU is doing in the events and programs that are coming to this campus. Building cultural crossroads, I would suggest it's a place we have more work to do. Ernest and I and John and others have been having a conversation about how we engage the indigenous communities in more significant ways. You'll be hearing more about that in 2025. Breaking trail and fostering innovation. This campus seems to have an aversion to doing anything that's ever been done before. So I think we're doing a good job there. Creating fun and entertaining experiences, that is growing by the day. Growing local, regional, and global intelligence. I think we are doing the best in the first and okay in the second and doing the least so far in global on the global stage. CSU is leading that effort. Stop Shows brings people from all over the globe. Just had a fascinating conversation with Kelly Conway this last week. CSU's doing an interview with a bunch of partners right now, talking about how CSU and Spur can work with partners and how we do more international work. And that is how that's going to happen. The authority is focused on community events and facilities. We don't have the bandwidth to be, pursuing a dramatic international footprint. But I think you need to think about how this all, you look at that list, how all of the partners, including community, are contributing to all those things. And when I came here a little over 6 years ago, I think when I was talking to board members, when I first came on board and in those first couple of years, when people talked about the mission and vision of the National Western Center, it was almost like it was this mirror ball. People would see one glint of a thing and say to me, that is the most important thing. You gotta be doing that. And somebody else said this one and this one and this one and this one. And we've been trying to prioritize, deal with the alligator and the opportunity closest to the boat. And to try to also look for ways to leverage and make efficient so that we get as much economy of scale to hit as many of these things. So I'm gonna go through a quick list. Next slide, please. I'll just read through some things. In events, Stephen mentioned that there were 55 events this year, is 53% year over year in event numbers. 1.3 million in event revenue, that's 163% increase. We had one festival concert this year. We had 2 others booked that bailed on us, and that would have helped us get to our event number, but it was close. We have 3 festival concerts right now that are on the 1-inch line of inking and 2 more in contracts. For 2025, we have 37 holds and bookings already in place, including these 3 festival weekends. 2026, the Expo Hall has holds, and we are negotiating contracts every weekend between the first weekend after Stock Show and the last weekend in May. And these are big dog events. It's super exciting. On the community front, we've created 650 jobs to date. And this is beyond all the jobs at Spur, all the jobs at the National Western Stock Show, all the jobs that NWCO's created with all the construction and the contractors. This is just around operations and events here at the campus. Created 650 jobs to date, 290 in 2024 alone. We are projecting through the end of 2024, 69% of all of the dollars spent on campus-wide services we spent with either a local 80216 or a small or disadvantaged or minority or women-owned business on this campus. And Community Investment Fund, we made a $90,000 grant this year. That number will be close to double that in 2025, and I hope more than that in 2026. We held 35 community events that directly engaged more than 900 individual unique community members. We had our CAC monthly meetings. We had our Equestrian Center Hotel Task Force meetings, of course. We sponsored more than 30 events and provided over $50,000 in either direct financial support or source sponsorships that we brought to the table. And I mentioned what we're doing for 25 Stock Show. We did the same for 24 Stock Show in terms of the tickets and the parade and all those things for community. Next slide, please. On the facilities front, and I'm gonna start from the top of that site plan and move south. You're sitting in our new office space. This place is gonna be an incredible resource for us. We're calling this this building the hub because we really want it to be just that. It's kind of on the edge of campus. It's got a lot of utility for us, and we're gonna take a maximum advantage of that. It's also the home of Colorado, where our Colorado Compost Partnership will be here just on the east side of this building. The M&O partners, M&O building, we've got partners coming in there too. PRG, our rigging company, MS Cleaning also will be locating in here, a small local business, janitorial business we're providing offices for them in the M&O building. Obviously, the Livestock Center, it is all hands on deck for that right now. You're all hopefully, as many of you as possible, we're gonna get to go through a tour after this meeting. I'd love to take 3 minutes to walk you around this space, get you over to Livestock Center and get you through Legacy Building. You will be blown away. It is amazing, all of them amazing pieces of architectural assets for this campus. The hotel, I mean, this year we selected the team, we designed these buildings. Tomorrow we get our 50% DD for equestrian and garage and 100% SD for the hotel submittal. It is really coming along, not without challenges, and we got a lot of work to do yet, but we are on track. The legacy building, can't wait for you to see it, absolutely amazing. The livestock exchange building construction is underway, the battery backup system is underway. Cell tower, agreement to get ourselves a new cell tower is underway. Just yesterday, we saw the new design for the, up north parking garage. There's a partnership between Livestock Exchange Building Partners, CSU, and the stock show in the city. We've created a ton of systems. I've talked about, you learned about in the last few meetings, our honeycomb sustainability data tracker that Corey's gonna be working on. A partnership with PRG Colorado Compost. We created an asset management system, an inventory management system this year. Created a landscape management system that's tracking every single growing thing on this entire campus. We've created a facilities event management system. Desiree and her team have built incredible systems that they are expert in that are making things go more smoothly. We reviewed 1,360 resumes and cover letters this year. That number will be twice next year. We are going to almost double in size in the next 12 months. We hired 7 new team members with an average of 14 years of experience. We are either underway or completed 7 procurements, including concessions, ticketing and pouring rights in 24. We've got 7 more in 2025. Mentioned our district sign plan was approved yesterday. And as we move, that's what we worked on this year. And as we move into 2025, we'll be obviously focusing on growing our team. It's the most important decision we make. We have to get the right people in the right spots onboarded. We have to expand and build on the amazing culture that I'm just telling you, our team has an incredibly healthy culture, has an incredibly healthy culture around partnering with the other partners on the campus. That is going to be our most precious and important resource, and bringing those people on is going to be incredibly important. You do that by creating sustainable and effective leadership and reporting structures so that we don't kill people in the process by overloading them and burning them out, and by creating professional growth and for opportunities for all of our staff. The North Star to get us to where we can get closer to not asking our parents for an allowance or as much of an allowance every year is we are focused on, and I'm going to say it out loud right now, we'll refine this. We are focused on an events revenue budget for 2026 of $7 million with the livestock center opening. And how do we do that? We're going to make a key hire in 2025, our director of sales. This will be the person that will be focused on event revenue and will be focused on a national sales effort and will manage our existing sales team. We're working on sales and marketing systems. The launch in 2025 for our marketing program is significant. You've heard Jenna talk about that. And we'll be continuing to grow and implement our campus facilities and event systems. We will expand and grow our community work and what we do with the community. We'll expand relationships with indigenous communities and Native American tribes. We are going to pursue in a partnership with the stock show and CSU renewable energy credits for our district energy system. We are just about to sign a due diligence contract with a law firm to look at what is possible around getting renewable energy credits and being able to sell those, bringing revenue to the campus. We have an economic impact study that will be completed in Q1. That is a partnership with CSU. So we will have a spur economic impact study. Paul and Stock Show has their economic impact study. We will have an economic impact study for the rest of the National Western Center campus. We'll be able to look at the components and bundle that together to tell the significant story financially that we can tell about the impact to Denver and the region in Colorado. We'll be supporting, obviously, the launch of the legacy as we do every single day. We'll be launching working to launch the Livestock Center, and we will take the Equestrian Center and Hotel Garage project to City Council, and we will get a positive vote there in 2025. that's what we're up to. And that's what we're doing in service of those guiding principles. And I just want to say at the end of this year, thank you to all of you. You do this. You allow us and you support us to do this. The partners allow us and support us in doing this. These are, as Kelly Lee famously says, promises made, promises kept. And we're working hard to keep those promises that were made early on by the partners when you all took the leap to create the National Western Center, this one of a kind place on the planet. So happy holidays.
Great update. There's a lot going on. Yes, you do.
Definitely a lot going on, an overwhelming amount of things going on. And on that note, while you all focus on the big things, I want to bring up something that feels little right now, but I think might grow. And that is the CIF. With those donations doubling each year, 5 years from now, that's gonna be a significant sum of money. And you're probably briefed on the history we've had with the community's resistance to some kind of partnership. And trust me, I appreciate the sentiment behind all of that, but we've supported them and it sounds like they've grown and made tremendous strides. But I guess the control freak in me feels the need to still have some attachment and oversight of that. And I will tell you, I mean, my interest would be impact reporting. I'd love to hear what they're doing with that money. My concern would be that they're not getting it aggressively out into the community. And I guess it just feels strange to me that we're just so far removed from it. I feel like we have a responsibility, and since you all are donating so much of the money, I would think you feel a responsibility too, to have some kind of partnership. And while I don't want to start the mess all over again,
I think we just need to get you up to speed. They are reporting to us quarterly and they come quarterly. The last time they were here a few months ago and they reported all that, they are killing it. And I mean, oh yeah, they are broadly out into the community. This year, for example, they took over the relationship and the communication and setup for Stock Show with SSA. That's something that I've carried the water on the past few years. Todd Langfield and SSA, they have worked great together and they're producing the graphics for the point of sales. They're talking with Gretchen Hollera and Arts and Venues at the Coliseum. So that's on me if I have not given you enough update, but I will tell you, I think they're doing all of those things extremely well.
Is that reporting process memorialized?
Yeah, Stephen gets.
Our grant agreement with them requires two things, and it's important for the board to know this from an accountability standpoint. In writing in the grant agreement, it says July 1, June 30, 1-year grant agreement requires a January semi-annual report on just a brief description of what's going on, but a formal report at year end, both a financial report and a narrative on what did they do with the money we gave them. And I require that prior to giving them more money. It's, the best way to ask for more money is tell us what you did with the money we already gave you. So it's in writing and it has to be submitted within 30 days of the end of the grant year period.
okay.
And they will come, at your desk, there's a little calendar there. In April, they will be here to present in person.
Okay.
Great. And I think the other piece of this on our front, and I would encourage anyone that buys something this year at the stock show, see that process. Like last year, I bought something in one of the merchandise stores and they initiated the conversation about the giving back to the community. So it would be great to get, we can all be secret shoppers, right? To see is that getting through, whether you're buying a food item or you're buying a merchandise item, are you hearing about it? Because obviously the ability to raise the funds is only as good as our ability to tell the public that there's an opportunity to get. So I think that's something that we need to continue to focus on. How effective is our training? I knew SSA would be on top of this, but I think the more we integrate those teachings and that they take some ownership in telling that story, the more money we're gonna raise.
I think we'll see north of I-70, it's It's just there,
Yeah.
it's ubiquitous.
Yeah, I was impressed.
South of I-70, it's been challenging, but I think we'll see some improvement this year. I think we will see a lot of improvement in 2026. There was a lot of conversation with our team, England, Gretchen Holler has been great in the conversation, inviting this kind of partnership.
That's great.
Some of it is new systems creation at point of sale.
Right.
That's not in place for 2025, but will be in place for 2026 at the rodeos. So I think we'll see
That's
a
right.
pretty substantial improvement in 2026 and some this stock show.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
If I could add one thing, I'm sorry to interrupt, but before we forget all of what Brad just shared of highlights of the past year. As the staff, and we do work very hard, and he shared all of those results. None of it would be possible without Brad's leadership. He's a visionary leader that tells us our compass setting and creates an environment within which we want to follow. So he makes it easy for us to work hard, and thank you.
Very nice.
We'll go back.
I have a question and comments, about the community part, what you were talking about giving jobs. Is there data, something that shows how many residents from 80216 are getting jobs? Not because I don't believe you, I do believe you, but we keep seeing residents not trusting the National Western. And showing that there's data that says this amount of residents are getting jobs. Like showing something, not just saying it, again, not because I don't believe you, I do believe you, just because we still have that trust issue with the community. And that will create that trust. Maybe not just that, but other things too. And about the CIF, again, I keep saying that it's great, the support that they're getting, but also I feel like there should be something really going directly to the community. Because that's a I don't know if it's a problem, I don't know what it is, that started, but it's just through grants, like you have to apply through a grant. And the bigger grants, the 10,000, because there was like some 10,000, 2,500, whatever. The larger amounts were given to organizations that are already getting funding other places. Like I feel like the CIF really should go to the community, not the organizations. I'm not against organizations, we are an organization too, but also a resident. And I feel like if we really want to target the whole community, we need to really do something to the community more than organizations. So I don't know how you guys, I mean, I know you guys have meetings with them and see if we can work something with them. If they're getting more funding, how could that funding really target more of the residents than organizations that are already getting funding from other places? I feel like that funding has to go to the community, and I'm talking about residents in the community for whatever they need it. And it doesn't matter the process. I mean, I agree that there has to be a process, and the grant process, well, I agree with that. It's just that I always see that the majority of funding goes to organizations instead of the residents, or just create another program where you can really give to the community directly. I don't know how we can do that. But yeah, I feel like there's things that have to change on the CIF. I know they're doing a great job, but also a lot of residents don't even know what's a CIF. So having more meetings with the community. I know I went to one of the meetings and they were not there. They canceled the meeting and I didn't even know. So just having that really conversation with the community of what is the CIF and really promote that for the next grant application, that the whole community, and I'm talking about the 3 neighborhoods, to really know about it and they can apply for those. For
Oh,
that
those
funding.
are really good points. I think it's probably a lot deeper conversation than today's board meeting, but it's obviously well stated, and I think obviously we take it up at the committee level, report back, but yeah, points are well taken. I was trying to get back on the schedule here, just a bit of managing expectations. Look at the top of the agenda. It says we go from 9 to 12. The bottom, it says we end at 10:10. Those are really don't match up that well. So we're not getting out of here by 10:10, but I won't keep you here till 12. So I just want to make sure everybody, I'm not sure which number to run with, but we'll figure it out next week. Not even to cut you off, good points. Let's go ahead and go with the public comment. Do we have anybody online?
We do have a couple members.
Okay.
Of the community, so please raise your hand if you're interested in speaking. I do see one hand raised, so let me note down. Just one moment. Idea, I see your hand raised. Go ahead with your comments.
Yes, please go ahead and just introduce yourself.
Okay, hello?
Hello.
Hi, can everybody hear us?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Hi, okay. So, my name's Dia Monte. I'm here on behalf of the Culinary Workers Union, Local 226. Culinary Union represents 60,000 hospitality workers in Nevada, including most of the casino resorts on the Las Vegas Strip and downtown Las Vegas, right? So if you've, for example, taken a Vegas vacation or something, you've probably stayed at a unionized hotel. We're here with important information regarding Fengate, who leads this National Western Center expansion plan. Here's what's happening right now at the Fengate-owned Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. For the first time in over 22 years, hospitality workers in Las Vegas are out on an open-ended strike. That strike has lasted over a month now. Today is day 34. And these cooks, housekeepers, servers, bartenders, and more are fighting for a new 5-year union contract for those 700 hourly workers. Since that strike began, hundreds of striking workers and union members have maintained 24/7 picket lines at every entrance and exit around that casino property. And the Culinary Union is urging tourists, venue performers, elected officials, and community allies to stay out of Virgin Las Vegas. Is actively encouraging customers to cancel their reservations and check out of the property. Fengate-owned Virgin Hotels Las Vegas has threatened workers with permanent replacement, hired scabs, raised the issue of workers' deportation, and proposed to undermine the union standard of living that generations of Las Vegas workers have fought for. 2 weeks ago, 2 striking workers from Virgin Las Vegas traveled over 700 miles to Denver, from Las Vegas, right? To meet with representatives of the National Western Center and its community activation partners, including, Hensel Phelps, Perkins and Will, Oakview Group, McWhinney Real Estate, Sage Hospitality, and 4240 Architecture. And one of, those community action partners met the workers with kindness, had a meaningful conversation with them. One of the other ones, though, of the community activation partners met the workers with hostility, crumpled up the informational leaflet that was given to them. And, on this trip to Denver, the workers' message was simple. Don't let Fengate bring Virgin Hotels Las Vegas values to your project in Denver. We believe that Fengate needs to meet the union standard in Las Vegas and should not bring those types of disputes to Denver. Mac Bell is the managing director of infrastructure investments at Fengate. He can be reached at 416-795-4468. Say that one more time, 416-795-4468, or at mac.bell@fengate.com to discuss this topic. And on our end, we are very much looking forward to a scheduled meeting that we have with Brad on January 2nd. So, thank you for that, Brad. Today, though, Diana, a striking worker at Virgin, she's a housekeeper, and she wants to share her story with you.
Hello, my name is Diana. I work in the housekeeping department, Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. I've been working at Virgin for 2 years. I'm a 30-year-old single mother of two, and I'm currently on strike right now because I'm fighting for my family and my peers. We all deserve a fair and just contract, and most importantly, fair wages. We are simply asking for what's right, and we do the same work as other workers in Las Vegas casinos, like Westgate and the Strat. It's not fair that the other casinos have signed and Virgin still has not. We will continue the fight on the picket lines daily, and we will be out here 24/7 until we win. We have given Fengate-owned Virgin Hotel ample time and opportunity to do the right thing, and they still have not done the right thing. And we hope to come to a conclusion or, solution real soon. But thank you for listening to us. I know it might not be a lot, but we appreciate for you guys listening to us. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dia. And I'm sorry, the other lady, what was your name, ma'am?
Diana.
Dia. Great, great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday season. Do we have any other,
No other members of the public.
okay, thank you. So the public session is now closed. We need to go into executive session, Mark. Actually, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
We have a second? Second. Mark?
Thank you. The pursuant to section 24-6-402, sub 4 B and E, the Board of Directors of the National Western Center Authority desires to go into executive session for the purpose of gaining legal advice if necessary, and to determine positions relative to procurement matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators. The board will not adopt any proposed policy, position, resolution, rule, regulation, or formal action during this executive session. And by statute, it is forbidden from doing so. This executive session will be recorded, and the recording will be maintained in the books and records of the National Western Center Authority. Does anybody have any questions regarding that?
What are C and D?
C and B. Oh, B, well, B.
It's a joke.
I've been wondering about
B or negotiation. Precisely.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That's Cody. Okay, I'm sorry. We are now executive session. Okay, we are now out of executive session. Brad, anything else for this meeting? Any other comments?
Well, quick question for Steve, just to follow up on that. As a percentage of what construction is occurring, broad, just super broad. I know the requirement is 55% American made.
If we're out of executive session.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious, are you feeling like there's a healthy amount there of American made available to?
There are probably 20 broad categories of things that are not available.
Gotcha.
That meet that standard.
Gotcha.
And by American made, it's interesting, like if it's a light bulb or an HVAC unit, is it 55% of the components must be American sourced, made, mined, or produced? And to actually check all the boxes, every single object in the building needs to meet that requirement, and there are just some that just don't.
Not just 55%, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in aggregate, you talk about each individual.
No, each individual object. Yeah.
I guess it's.
Yeah.
I'm sure 55% was determined by a very scientific method.
Yeah.
There's
55%.
Provide consultants who you get hired to do that.
Anything else for this meeting?
The only thing I would say is, what is the plan for the tour? Where do people meet? How do we do that?
Yep, so if you have, told me you're going on the tour, I gave you the 2 waivers that you need to fill out, so you can get that to me or Jenna. And then we are going to drive over to the yards, and meet at that water tower, and that's where we're gonna start and end the tour.
Hey, Paul, where are the Protesters,
Jenna will be going on the tour, so you guys can follow Jenna absolutely.
what are the protesters, what do you guys do?
And how long they get to be over,
2 hours, it's not gonna take 2 hours, I would say it's probably close to an hour for last.
Okay, that's on their last year.
Yeah, legacy. Yeah.
Terry signed for a while. Down with Paul, down with Paul.
And we should probably drive there.
I'm sorry. maybe that's
Yeah,
what
so
it's
drive.
not. Sure. We got it. Wait, one more thing.
Super easy. Yeah, and we have all of the.
I was very.